very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1 for the Newsfirst team. I'm Steven Machado. Let's take a look at your headlines for this evening.
Poppy Day commemoration held under the patronage of the Prime Minister. Plantation workers continue protests against opposition MPs who opposed the 200 rupee allowance. Opposing the 200 rupee allowance is Rohini Kaviratna's personal view and not that of the SJB. Parliamentarian Ajit Pereira clarifies. If the SJB attends the Nugegoda rally, the government will claim it joined thieves and drug dealers. We will join later, says MP Rohana Bandara. People's Struggle Alliance says the Nugegoda rally is being held to exploit the people's struggles. Funds to be disbursed tomorrow to bank accounts of farmers who have not yet received fertilizer allowances.
In your top story this evening, the Armed Forces Commemorative Day and Poppy Day celebration was held this morning under the patronage of Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya.
The Sri Lanka Ex-Servicemen's Association organized today's event to honor and pay tribute to the brave soldiers who have sacrificed their lives to protect our motherland from the First World War to the present day. The Armed Forces Commemorative and Poppy Day ceremony was held this morning at the War Heroes Memorial in Vihara Mahadevi Park, Colombo, under the patronage of Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. The event was attended by a distinguished gathering, including Deputy Minister of Defence, retired Major General Aruna Jayasekara, Secretary of Defence, retired Air Vice Marshal Sampath Thuyakontha, commanders of the tri-forces, serving and retired senior military officers, government representatives and families of fallen soldiers.
In another story making headlines tonight, plantation workers have expressed strong dissatisfaction over the opposition's move to reject the government's proposal in the budget to provide them with a daily attendance allowance of 200 rupees. Plantation workers in several parts of the island today held protests, voicing their anger against the opposition's stance.
Plantation workers from several estates in Muskelia gathered near the Muskelia bus station this evening and held protests against the opposition's stance opposing the proposed increase of the 200 rupee daily allowance.
It's been 200 years since our community came to Sri Lanka, and for the first time, a president has given 200 rupees. Before that, those who went to parliament asking for our votes are now sitting comfortably, telling us we shouldn't get this allowance. When Ranil was taken to court, everyone came together. But did they ever come together for our problems? Our children study in estate schools, while theirs go to good schools.
Meanwhile, estate workers gathered in Bogavantalawa town today to stage protests. Shops in Bhagavantala were closed today in support of the estate workers' protest. In the face of public opposition, three Samagijana Balawege MPs, Mano Ganesan, Radhakrishnan and P. Digambaram voted in favour of the 2026 budget, supporting the proposal to increase plantation workers' wages. Meanwhile, Jeevan Thondaman, General Secretary of the Ceylon Workers' Congress, who is in the opposition, also voted in favour of the budget. Speaking at a media briefing, P. Digambaram said he voted in favour of the budget with genuine conviction.
ආණ්ඩුවට මම කියනවානේ එමෙතනම කියනවානේ මේ ආණ්ඩුව ගත්ත තීන්දුව අපි අගය කරන්න ඕනේ. මොකද කිසිම ආණ්ඩුව මේ ආයෙවෙන් සල්ලි වෙන් කළා නැහැ. ඉතින් මේ ආණ්ඩුවට ක්‍රෙඩිට් යන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් අපිත් ඇවිල්ලාම පාර්ලිමේන්තු කතා කරා ඡන්දත් දුන්නා.
Meanwhile, a group of senior members of the National Union of Workers, led by Palani Digambaram, held a media briefing today announcing their decision to leave the party. They stated that they plan to form a new organization to advocate for higher wages and the rights of estate workers.
The trade unions are not doing the work they're meant to do. That's the problem. Most union leaders are in Colombo and some come from India only occasionally. Leaders and their teams don't pay enough attention to the workers' issues. They are always focused on politics, always aiming for parliament and trying to deceive the people. That's become clear.
තමුන් හැමදාම දේශපාලනේ ඉන්න ඕනේ තමුන් හැමදාම පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඉන්න ඕනේ තමුන් හැමදාම මිනිස්සුව රවටගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ කියන මතය තමයි එතනින් තියෙන්නේ
ලංකා කම්කරු කොංග්‍රසයේ NUW කියන දිගාමරමතුමාගේ
The Ceylon Workers Congress and the National Union of Workers, MP Digambaram's party, are both working mainly to deceive the people. I cannot follow them and I cannot serve the people under their leadership. Going forward, we will form a new party and a new trade union. This will not only serve the upcountry workers but also reach out to the millions of estate workers living outside the estates.
ලක්ෂ ගාණක් අපි වතුකර ජනතාවට අපි සේවය කරන්න අපි සූදානම් වෙලා ඉන්නවා.
Ajit P. Pereira of the Samagijana Balawege clarified today that MP Rohini Kaviratne's opposition to the budget proposal to provide a 200 rupee allowance to plantation workers was her personal view and not the official stance of the party. He says that her actions, filing complaints with the Bribery Commission, the National Procurement Commission and the Auditor General were done independently according to her own perspective and does not reflect the party's opinion.
This was entirely her personal opinion. She did not come to cast her vote and abstained from voting. Her view does not reflect the stance of our party. The leader of the SJB, Sajid Premadasa, has clearly stated that we unconditionally support increasing wages for plantation workers. We are pleased that the government contributes, and we have no objection if the private sector does as well. If both work together to further improve the lives of plantation workers, it is appropriate, agreeable and fully supported by us.
Supporting the budget proposal to increase plantation worker wages, Jeevan Thondaman, the General Secretary of the Ceylon Workers Congress, which is part of the opposition, cast his vote in favour for the 2026 budget. Meanwhile, Saman Ratnapriya of the United National Party stated that his leader, Ranil Wickremesinghe, was unable to implement the wage increase for plantation workers due to pressures from estate owners. Ratnapriya noted that while it is good that the current government has proposed to implement this wage increase, providing 200 rupees from tax revenue to plantation workers can cause harm to the taxpayers.
We need to increase wages for plantation workers. Ranil Wickremesinghe also made considerable efforts towards this. However, due to resistance and pressure from estate owners to delay the increase, it was postponed to some extent. As a result, a policy decision was eventually taken. President Anura Kumar Dissanayake decided to increase the daily wage from 1,350 rupees to 1,550 rupees, which is good, and we agree with it. However, the method of providing this is a concern. When profits go to plantation workers, if 200 rupees is provided to workers from taxes collected from ordinary citizens, business people and professionals, it creates a burden on taxpayers. Taxes should primarily be used for education, healthcare and relief for the poorest. Using tax revenue to fund wages increases in profitable estates, effectively allowing owners to gain more profit while burdening taxpayers, is the issue. Increasing wages for plantation workers is necessary. There is no debate about that.
SJB Member of Parliament Rohan Bandara says that if the Samaki Jana Balawegaya participates in the joint opposition rally organised by parties including the SLPP that is scheduled to be held in Nugegoda, it would confirm allegations that everyone is uniting in opposition whenever arrests of drug traffickers or thieves occur. However, he emphasised that even if SJB does not officially participate in the rally on the 21st, the party extends its full blessings and may take part if necessary.
Once we all unite, it becomes easier for the government. They can repeatedly showcase the seeds they planted. They keep saying that we caught no thieves, and the drug menace still prevails. If we all go to this rally, it will give them another opportunity to say that when they are working to eradicate the drug menace from the country, we are all collectively attacking them. We, as the opposition, extend our best wishes and blessings to all those coming together on the 21st. You start your movement from Nugegoda. We can see that the people's expectations are not fulfilled in the next year's budget as well. Therefore, next year, as the people unite, we at the Samaki Jana Balawegaya will work to support them. Let me give you a small example. There are several roads that lead to the Adams Peak. But no matter where you begin your journey, in the end, all the roads converge in Nalatanya. Therefore, we, the SJB, extend our blessings to this group to successfully hold their rally on the 21st. Furthermore, for the country's common needs, for the general public, and for democracy, we will also take another route if required. Like in the example I gave you, we can join you in Nalatanya, and we can continue our journey together up to the Adams Peak. So, while we wish these parties all the very best for their rally on the 21st, it is important to clarify that we are not officially providing our participation at this time.
අපි අවශ්‍යතාවයක් සිද්ධ වුණොත් නල්ලතන්නේ ඉඳලා එතනින් උඩට ශ්‍රීපාදේ වඳින්නට එකට ගමන් කරමු කියන එක.
The National Agrarian Union says that the rally to be held on the 21st of November is merely a gathering of rejected politicians, and during the times they were in power, farmers were rendered extremely helpless.
Regarding the rally on the 21st, we ask, what proposals are being made for the benefit of the farmers? There's nothing at all for them. Initially, this was simply a gathering opposing authoritarian constitutional practices. The people organizing it are those who dream of becoming future presidents and want to reside in luxurious homes. Under their rule, farmers were unable to properly cultivate their lands and suffered significant personal and livelihood losses. We will not participate in rallies designed to protect corrupt politicians, thieves, and those involved in fraud and malpractice. Those rallies are their doing. The rally on the 21st is essentially a gathering of thieves and corrupt individuals. Therefore, farmers should not be drawn into a new cycle of exploitation or manipulation. Regarding the Nugegoda rally on the 21st, we ask, what are the goals for the farmers and the general public? What common programs or plans are being proposed to meet the people's expectations? From what we see, it is merely a platform created to protect thieves and dishonest individuals, with no real benefit for the people.
The People's Struggle Alliance says that it will not take part in the rally to be held on the 21st of November. Its member Duminda Nagamua says that this rally is being conducted by a group of individuals who are planning to exploit the struggles of the people.
They are trying to exploit the people's grief for their own gain. We also tell the public, don't be misled by these opportunists. These people have been manipulating events all along. Now, this is all about Ranil Wickremesinghe and Nama Rajapaksa. Now, they've all come together to carry out this plan. This is nothing but a farce. These same people were responsible for suppressing protests in the past. Ranil Wickremesinghe, after the Aragalia, stepped in as a mediator to ease the enormous pressure that had reached SLPP from the Rajapaksa faction. That's why these alliances continue into the future. A decision has been made to put an end to this cycle of deceit and manipulation. We tell the people clearly, organize yourselves around a new progressive front to engage in principled opposition along with the government. This is the arena of politics where we operate, building a front that acts with strategy, principle and vision.
නව පෙරමුණක් වටා සංවිධානය වෙන්න කියලා. ඉතින් ඒ නව පෙරමුණ ගොඩනගන දේශපාලන තුල තමයි අපි ඉන්නේ.
Newsfirst with the people.
Last night, the grand finale of Sirasa Dancing Star 2025 made the iconic Stein Studios in Ratmalana come alive as the stage became a battlefield of dreams, talent and unstoppable passion. Every step, every rhythm, every heartbeat told a story and the nation watched in awe. In the end, it was Team Dance Flame who rose above them all, delivering a performance that electrified the crowd, captured every eye and claimed the coveted title. Dancing, it's a uniquely human gift. A language of the soul, a rhythm of emotion, a canvas for talent. It's how we reveal who we truly are, how we feel and what moves us from within. This is exactly what Sirasa Dancing Star celebrates. An international stage crafted for our youth, a place where dreams take form, feelings find expression and passion shines in every step. For months, over hundreds of teams battled through auditions, rehearsals, challenges and eliminations. Finally, 42 teams made it to the preliminary round of Dancing Star. Throughout the show, Sri Lanka witnessed the dedication, the hurdles and lived their journeys alongside them. Every young dancer who stepped onto that stage carried something valuable. The hope and energy of a generation determined to build a modern Sri Lanka. Our choreographers shaped their talent and pushed them higher round after round. With every performance, the standard just kept going to the next level.
Sirasa Dancing Star.
What set this season apart was its fearless breaking of tradition. These young performers blended the familiar with the futuristic, seamlessly weaving Shri pop, hip hop, contemporary forms and global influences into the foundations of classical and folk dance. The result was something entirely new, entirely Sri Lankan, entirely theirs. Not only Shri pop, from urban street to K-pop, Indian hip-hop, Tamil hip-hop and Afro, these young talents set the Sirasa Dancing Star stage on fire with their energy and creativity. The performances were not just routines, they were expressions of emotion, dignity and raw human storytelling. Our dynamic panel of judges, along with special judges, guided them every step of the way. And with invaluable support from two dance consultants who truly understand the heartbeat of Sri Lanka's youth, Ramod Malika and Lasantha Pramudita, these dancers were empowered to shine brighter than ever. Last night, 6 extraordinary teams made it to the grand finale. Secret Squad, SLD Rhythms, Team IDS, Flow Dancing Crew, Dance Flame and CS Crew. Ten teams battled it out for the title of most popular dancing team.
Sirasa Dancing Star. The most popular team is Sadia.
After a much anticipated showdown, Team Thadians was crowned the most popular dancing team of Sirasa Dancing Star. After the first round, with votes from you, me and all of Sri Lanka, 4 of the 6 finalist teams secured their spot in the final showdown. They were Secret Squad, SLD Rhythms, Dance Flame and CS Crew. Inside Stein Studios, the energy was unlike anything felt before. It wasn't just loud, it was electric. Dedication, determination, unity, talent. At Stein Studios, the audience witnessed an electrifying dance-off as the 4 final teams brought the Shri Pop beats to life. Hearts racing, eyes glued to the stage, all 4 finalists poured everything into their performances, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats. Finally, the moment everyone had been waiting for arrived. A flawless performance, a performance that captured hearts, that set the stage on fire. And finally, Team Dance Flame was crowned as the champions of the Sirasa Dancing Star. Sirasa Dancing Star wouldn't be the success it is without our sponsors who believed in these young talents, trusted their dreams and stood by them every step of the way. Our youth dream big. They dream of a modern Sri Lanka and they're fighting every day for that dream. The international stage created for these fearless, passionate young dreamers with a first-time partnership with TikTok is Sirasa Dancing Star. As the final curtain fell, it became clear that Dancing Star 2025 had achieved something remarkable. It had risen above the realm of a reality show and transformed into a youth revolution, a national movement where young Sri Lankans were not just competing, but leading, not just performing, but redefining, not just dancing, but dreaming aloud. What we witnessed last night was unity, it was dignity, and above all, it was hope. A new cultural wave has begun, and it started with our young people on a stage under bright lights, dancing their way into Sri Lanka's future.
Sirasa Dancing Star.
Minister of Public Security Ananda Vijay Pala says that in line with the national operation to curb the drug menace, Several circulars are expected to be issued tomorrow to set up national operation committees across government institutions. The minister shared these views while addressing the Kalutara district meeting under the national operation A Nation United.
The district-level meeting for the national operation titled A Nation United was held today at the Kalutara district secretariat. The event was attended by Minister of Public Security Ananda Vijaypala, Minister of Health and Mass Media Nalinda Jayatissa, the police and other government officials.
Tomorrow, a circular will be issued through the Ministry of Public Administration to establish drug prevention committees in all government institutions across every ministry, department and state body. In addition, we will also issue a circular through the Secretary to the Ministry of Education to establish similar drug prevention committees in all schools, universities and educational institutions across the country. These committees do not have to follow traditional structures. Principals and heads of institutions must ensure that their schools are verified as drug-free institutions. Furthermore, we have instructed the Secretary to the President to issue a circular through the Ministry of Social Empowerment to provide guidance to all existing non-governmental organizations operating under the Ministry of Social Welfare. These organizations will be directed to actively participate in raising awareness and prevention of drug use throughout society. No effort will be spared. Every necessary step will be taken to ensure that the entire society is engaged in this active nationwide drug prevention initiative. On business news tonight, we take a look at Sri Lanka's tourism record. Here is a look.
Biz Fast.
In the first 10 months of this year, the country earned $2,659 million in revenue from tourists, marking a 4.9% increase compared to the same period in 2024. From January to the 12th of November this year, a total of 1,972,957 tourists visited the country. The largest number of visitors came from India. Significant number of tourists also arrived from the United Kingdom, Russia, Germany, China, France and Australia.
There's a creature in Sri Lanka that embodies the spirit of the wild. This is the soul of our island. Today on beautiful Sri Lanka, we celebrate the majestic Sri Lankan elephant, the gentle giant and the largest land animal that roams our forests, a living symbol of our island's untamed beauty.
The Sri Lankan elephant, a unique subspecies of the Asian elephant, holds the title of the largest land animal in the country's wild landscapes. These magnificent giants roam many of Sri Lanka's iconic forests from Minneria and Kaudulla to Udavalabe and Yala, enchanting visitors and standing as a cornerstone of the island's wildlife tourism. Yet, despite their fame and charm, Sri Lankan elephants face numerous modern-day threats, putting the future of these majestic creatures at serious risk.
Beautiful Sri Lanka.
Commissioner General of Agrarian Development Dhammika Ranatunga says that the fertilizer allowance for Maha season has now been given to 226,015 farmers. He added that the remaining farmers who have not yet received the allowance will have the funds credited to their accounts within the coming week.
This year, the Maha season's cultivation is planned for 850,000 hectares of paddy fields with an expected yield of 4.2 metric tons per hectare. Paddy cultivation is being carried out across 18 districts and planting has already commenced in several districts. A key feature of this year's Maha season is the launch of a new cultivation promotion project called Yaya 500, which is designed to support major districts using modern technological methods for paddy cultivation. Special attention is being given to the cultivation of 13 additional crops alongside paddy, including cowpea, chili, orid, red onion and peanuts. Currently, the water level in reservoirs is around 50% and it is planned to irrigate approximately 80% of maize fields with rainwater. Department of Agriculture says that only about 12.5% of paddy cultivation will rely solely on rainwater. For this Maha season, the government is providing 25,000 rupees per hectare as fertilizer allowance for paddy fields. This program is being implemented in 2 phases. After the registration list is finalized, the first installment of 15,000 rupees will be released once cultivation begins. The remaining 10,000 rupees will be disbursed after the initial progress is verified. For additional crops grown on paddy land, the government is providing 15,000 rupees per hectare as a fertilizer allowance. The total allocation for fertilizer relief this season is 20 billion rupees. At present, farming activities have already commenced in the Ampara district, where a total of 88,008 hectares of farmland have been planned for cultivation this season. It was revealed at a recent Ampara district agricultural meeting that 56,000 hectares have already been fully cultivated. However, farmers in the district have reported that they have not yet received the fertilizer assistance they require.
මේ කුඹුරු සියල්ල දැන් වගා කරලා අවසන් මිනිස්සු. හැබැයි ගොවියට මේ වෙනකම් පෝර සානදාරේ තඹදෝ විත්තක්වත් හම්බ වෙලා නැහැ. හරිනම් පෝර සානදාරේ ඇත්තටම දෙන්න ඕනේ වගා කරන්න කලින්.
On the 13th of November 2025, the Ampara District Agriculture Committee meeting was held, during which Chamini Somadasa, Assistant Commissioner of Agrarian Development in Ampara District, stated that fertilizer allowance had been provided to approximately 13% of farmers in the district.
මිලියන 173ක් ඒවල තියෙන ගොවීන් සංඛ්‍යාව 12400ක් ඒ වගේම කුකුරු ඉඩම් හෙක්ටාර් 11592ක් සඳහා තමයි මිලියන 173යි දශමාටක මුදල ගෙවීම කරලා තියෙන්නේ ප්‍රතිශතයක් විදිහට ගත්තාම 13.17ක ප්‍රමාණයකට අපි මේ වෙනකොට පොහොර සහනාධාර මුදල් ගෙවීම කරලා තියෙනවා.
In the Polonnaru district, many farmers have already begun harvesting their paddy fields. Farmers from Yaya 12 in Ambagaswava, Madirigiriya say that they have received fertilizer allowances for their Maha paddy cultivation. When inquired by Newsfirst, the Director General of Agrarian Development, Dhammika Ranatunga, said that to date, 226,015 farmers have already received fertilizer allowances. The total amount disbursed so far amounts to 2,214 million rupees. Director General Ranatunga also mentioned that for farmers who have not yet received allowances, the payments will be credited to their accounts either on Monday or Tuesday.
Under this program, each paddy farmer receives a fertilizer allowance of 25,000 rupees. We aim to provide support to approximately 1.4 million farmers, covering around 800,000 hectares of paddy fields. The government has 20 billion rupees for this purpose and has made all necessary funds available to our department. As soon as the crops are reported ready for cultivation, the first installment of assistance can be released immediately. Our department has all the required financial provisions and resources in place to ensure that there are no delays or shortages in disbursing this support. We are taking all necessary measures to guarantee that farmers receive their entitled assistance without any obstacles.
ඒ නිසා මේ සහනාධාරයේ ප්‍රමාද වීමට හෝ ඒ සහනාධාරයේ නොලැබී යාමට කිසිම හේතුවක් නැහැ. ඒ සඳහා අපිට අපේ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව මගින් අවශ්‍ය සියලුම කටයුතු ඉටු කරනවා.
An advisory has been issued that some areas in the northern and eastern provinces may experience heavy rainfall exceeding 100 millimeters. The Department of Meteorology issued this advisory in view of the unstable conditions in the lower atmosphere over the eastern part of the country.
The Department of Meteorology warns that some areas in the northern and eastern provinces may experience heavy rainfall exceeding 100 millimeters. This is due to the unstable conditions in the lower atmosphere over the eastern part of the country, which are intensifying into a low-pressure area. Other parts of the country may also receive heavy rainfall exceeding 75 millimeters in certain locations. Meanwhile, in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and southern provinces, misty conditions may occur during the early hours tomorrow in some areas. The Department of Meteorology advises the public to take necessary precautions to minimize risks from temporary strong winds, lightning and heavy showers.
The second day of the Junior National Law Conference 2025 was held yesterday, featuring a series of impactful sessions and training programs aimed at enhancing the knowledge and professional skills of junior legal practitioners. This year's theme, Raise the Bar, focuses on 3 key pillars: mentorship in motion, mentorship meets equality, and equal access to justice.
Day 2 of the Junior National Law Conference commenced yesterday with yet another plenary session that focused on contemporary legal challenges, practical legal skills and the promotion of professional excellence within the legal community. Speaking after a panel discussion, Supreme Court Judge Esture Raja highlighted the need of advocacy for translating a client's needs and struggles into a clear, respectful and persuasive presentation for the judge, focusing on achieving justice rather than merely winning a case.
There is no paper before us. There is a problem, or there is a voice, there is a feeling, there is a need which is crying for justice before me or before us. So, who are we then? The advocates and the judge are not other side of the coin. They are partners in justice. When you take a brief, there is bundle of papers given. Sometimes somebody sitting in front of you crying or screaming, shouting. That has to be reduced into papers because you can't go and communicate what the XYZ said to the judge. It has to be reduced to the paper, and that paper has to be properly communicated. And that paper should translate what your client said to the judge with your pinch of salt to get justice. It is not to win a case. The advocacy is an art of persuasion with dignity.
The conference brought together specialized sessions, discussions and collaborative activities designed to nurture the next generation of legal professionals in Sri Lanka.
The Touch, Look, Check Triathlon 2025, organized by the Indira Cancer Trust, was held in Colombo today to promote early detection of breast cancer.
Touch, Look, Check Triathlon 2025, organized by the Indira Cancer Trust, was held in Colombo. This is the first national level initiative in the country aimed at taking the message of breast self-examination to the public. The program featured cycling, running and live demonstrations conducted by healthcare professionals and trained volunteers to educate participants on the TLC method. This event was previously conducted successfully in Kilinochchi, Batticaloa and Matara.
October was the month for breast cancer awareness, and here at the CMC we have also tried very hard to get the message out and to have people know that TLC is very important. Touch, look and check. We've conducted through our MOHs, we've conducted multiple screenings, actually awareness so that the TLC happens in the way in which it should, that self-breast examinations take place. So we're very thankful to the Indira Cancer Trust for using their platform to create more awareness, to tell people about how important this awareness is, and we're very glad to see so many of you who've joined forces today.
I want to tell all of you all, please don't keep it only for the month of October. We do have an obligation to remind our loved ones that it is something that they need to do frequently, and I encourage all of you all to try and wear something in pink every Wednesday. And also the boys, men, please think of your loved ones. That's how I started promoting this in Sri Lanka. Together with Indira Cancer Trust now, we will do our best to get the message across.
Among those present were distinguished guests, medical professionals, Ministry of Health officials, sponsors and a large gathering of attendees.
Thousands of people took to the streets across cities in Mexico yesterday to protest against government security policies, which they say have failed to curb increasing violence in the country. The protests, which took place under the banner of Generation Z in the style of other such youth movements around the world, were prompted in particular by the murder of an anti-crime mayor earlier this month.
At least 120 people, 100 of them police officers, have been injured in clashes during anti-government protests in Mexico City. Thousands of demonstrators marched in the Mexican capital yesterday to protest against violent crime and President Claudia Sheinbaum's government. Sheinbaum said the marches, which also took place in other cities, had been funded by right-wing politicians who oppose her government. The rally was organized by Gen Z youth groups, drawing support from citizens protesting against high-profile killings, including the assassination just weeks ago of Uruapan Mayor Carlos Manzo, who had called for tough action against cartels. Mexico City's Public Safety Secretary Pablo Vasquez said in a news conference that 100 police officers were injured, including 40 who required hospital treatment. Another 20 civilians were also injured. The Public Safety Secretary also said 20 people were arrested and another 20 referred for administrative offences. According to Mexican media, security forces fired tear gas and threw stones at protesters as they entered the perimeter of the National Palace. The protest was organized by a group calling itself Generation Z Mexico. It said in a manifesto circulating on social media that it is a non-partisan and represents Mexican youth that are fed up with violence, corruption and abuse of power.
The government of the Democratic Republic of Congo and M23 rebels have signed a new peace framework in Qatar.
Rwandan-backed M23 rebels and the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo have signed a framework for peace in the east of the country. The ceremony was held in Qatar, which along with the US and the African Union has been trying to mediate an end to decades of conflict in the resource-rich region. Earlier this year, the M23 captured the eastern region's main cities of Goma and Bukavu. Previous attempts to secure peace have failed. The US's Africa envoy Masad Boulos said the document covered 8 protocols and that most still required work. He also acknowledged that prisoner exchanges and ceasefire monitoring had been slower than originally hoped. The new framework also addresses humanitarian access, the return of displaced people and protection of the judiciary. It builds on a declaration of principles signed by the two sides in Doha in July, as well as a deal made in the same city last month on the monitoring of an eventual ceasefire. Before that, in June, talks between Rwanda and DR Congo, brokered by Washington, resulted in the signing of a peace deal that was hailed by US President Donald Trump as a glorious triumph, but was swiftly violated by the warning parties. The M23 is one of the biggest parties in the conflict, but was not directly involved in the US brokered ceasefire deal. It has always favored the talks mediated by Qatar, saying they will address the root causes of the conflict. Decades of conflict escalated in January when M23 rebels seized control of large parts of eastern DR Congo, including the regional capital Goma, the city of Bukavu and 2 airports.
The third one-day international between Sri Lanka and Pakistan is currently underway in Rawalpindi. Batting first, Sri Lanka were bowled out for 211 runs in 45.2 overs by Pakistan. Pakistan, chasing a target of 211 runs, are currently at 151 runs for the loss of 4 wickets at the end of 34.2 overs.
Pakistan, who won the toss in today's third one-day international against Sri Lanka in Rawalpindi, chose to field first. Sri Lanka's captain Charita Salanka is unavailable due to illness. Kusal Mendis will lead the team in his place for this match. Additionally, Wanindu Hasaranga and Dushmanta Chamira are also sidelined due to injuries, while Asita Fernando is recovering from illness. They are being replaced today by Jeffrey Vandase and Eshan Malinga. Pawan Ratnayaka has earned his first one-day international cap for Sri Lanka in this match. Earlier reports dated 12th November indicated that a group of Sri Lankan players touring Pakistan had requested to return to Sri Lanka due to security concerns. At the time, Chanit Asaranka, Vanidu Hasaranga, Asita Fernando, Kamdu Mendis, Sadira Samaravikrama, Jeffrey Vandase and Mahesh Tikshana had booked flights to depart Islamabad at 3 am, according to the Sunday Times. The report further noted that other players, including Dinesh Chandimal, Niroshan Dikwala, Kusal Janit Pereira, Vishen Halamage and Garuka Sanket, had been considered as replacements in case of further withdrawals. Following discussions between Sri Lanka cricket officials, Pakistan cricket authorities and the touring team, an agreement was ultimately reached that the players were willing to continue with the tour. President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake and the Defence Secretary were reportedly involved in facilitating these discussions. As of now, the Sri Lankan squad, including Charita Asalanka, has confirmed their participation in the upcoming Sri Lanka tour of Pakistan and Zimbabwe for the Tri-Nation Series, with a 20-player squad named for the event.
The 2025 Asia Cup Rising Stars Cricket Tournament is currently underway, featuring some of the region's top emerging talent.
In one of the ongoing matches, India A is facing the Pakistan Shaheens. India are batting first, while Pakistan, having won the toss, opted to field.
Iron wide and a boundary of the first ball. That's how you lay down a marker. A very smooth action.
Earlier this evening, the United Arab Emirates secured a narrow victory over Oman by 2 wickets. In the match held in Qatar, UAE, batting first, posted 154 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in their allotted 20 overs.
Picked away towards short fine. York 80s. Who says the non-striker? Decent comeback considering where they were at the halfway mark. Still we feel Salman.
Chasing a target of 155, Oman successfully chased down the target score while losing 8 wickets, clinching the win.
And he takes it! Srivastava. Yorker and runs with it, and in the end, Oman win it.
The Maharaja Media Network has secured the official local broadcasting rights of the tournament. All matches of the Asia Cup Rising Stars 2025 tournament can be watched live on TV1 and online via www.sirasatv.lk.
Thavi Samaraweera has etched his name in history by becoming the world youth champion in table tennis, claiming the gold medal in the under-11 category at the prestigious World Table Tennis Contender Ranking Tournament held in Italy. Following this historic achievement, Thavi arrived in Sri Lanka today to a warm welcome, bringing pride and inspiration to the nation.
This victory marks a first for Sri Lanka, as Thavi is the first Sri Lankan player to ever reach the finals at a World Youth Contender event. Prior to this, he had already won 5 silver medals and 4 bronze medals, but now he has reached the pinnacle of success. The tournament in Italy was one of the strongest in recent years, making Thavi's triumph even more remarkable. With his win, he has climbed the global rankings to become world number 3, a first for any Sri Lankan in his age category. And now he aims to claim the world number 1 spot in January. Thavi's achievement is a proud moment for Sri Lanka and an inspiration for young athletes across the country to pursue excellence on the world stage.
The Arthur C. Clarke Institute for Modern Technologies has announced that a spectacular meteor shower will be visible to the public tonight. Senior astronomer Indika Medagangura said that the shower will continue tomorrow and the day after, offering multiple opportunities for observation. You too can witness this remarkable celestial display, which started at 9 p.m. today. However, observers are advised to choose a clear spot away from city lights for the best view. And with that, we bring this edition of Primetime News on TV1 to a close. Thank you for joining us. Good night.